Okay. All right. Let's just go then. Bonjour, everybody. Welcome to another edition of KBFT Baapi'idiwin series. I'm your host, Johnny R. From the Red Lake Nation. You can see my flag back there, so I'm really legit. It's right by my heavyweight championship belt. I'm like probably the champion of Red Lake, and I'm not going to defend it because I'm too modest and humble. So I'm going to keep that title here. But yeah, tonight we have with us. I've been following her progress as she gets into the powwow MC business, and it's been pretty exciting to me. And I've been wanting to meet with her for a while, so I'm pretty excited having her. And her name is Deanna Standing Cloud, and welcome, Deanna. We'll just let you introduce yourself and what you're all about.
Miigwage John R. You gotta flatten out that flag here.
Oh yeah.
So
while you're talking, I will.
Okay. Buju and Dinaway Maganaduk, Gate Bikwe and Dijanakas, Minawa Buganagijek Wabamakwe and the Go, Wu Tang and Udame name. Miss Squagami with Eganing and Dunjaba, Gakabikang and Danungum. So hello everyone. It's so good to be here. Man, when John asked me to be a guest on this show, it was a couple months back, and I've just been waiting for this day. So it's finally here, and I'm just excited to be here. I actually, in the past, since John asked, and I would like to ask Stephen Standing Cloud to mute his microphone. Already causing trouble. No wonder you're in Facebook jail all the time. So but yeah, and I just kind of accidentally got involved in emceeing powwows I don't know, I'd say 4 years or so back, maybe, at South High. I actually worked for Indian Ed at the time, and there's a guy they asked to be an MC, and he was from Canada, so he didn't know the students' names and stuff, and I'm kind of standing around and, I'm telling him people's names, and I'm like, trying to help him, and pretty soon he just hands me the mic. I was like, okay, whatever, I didn't even really know what was going on, so I just started, just got right in there, and so it was fun, and that was my first experience. And then the next year, the same school asked me to actually just do the MC. And at the time I was like, well, yeah, it seems pretty low risk because it's a school. It was my daughter was attending that school at the time. So it was just kind of a little easy way to get into that, into the scene. And then we also did a promotional video with Minneapolis Institute of Arts for the Native artists, the Native women artists there. It was an exhibit. So I did a little promotional video there. So I had some material to show off. And I was approached by Brandon Bowstring in 2019 to MC the Leech Lake Powwow, the Labor Day Powwow. And that was crazy because I went to that powwow as a kid and it seemed like a big powwow. So, but they had a theme for MMIW that year. And man, I thought about it. I really wanted to say no because there was just, I was just scared and I was nervous, and I wanted to say no, but I knew I couldn't because this may be just the once in a lifetime opportunity. So I said yes, and I survived it, and and after that that was kind of like the first bigger powwow that I did, and I'm glad I did it because a lot of people came up to the announcer stand and was shaking my hand and gifting me fry bread and earrings and popcorn and slushies and deep fried Oreos and stuff like that. And it was just a really good feeling. I didn't know that MCs got all that food. There was a whole, thing of food. So I learned a lot that weekend, but that was my first bigger powwow. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got started with emceeing powwows. And then I kind of gravitated towards other lady MCs because I wanted to just find the other ones. And Stephanie, I'm probably gonna chop up your name, Pingowish, So if you're watching tonight, Stephanie, I kind of connected with her, and I've been following her, her Facebook posts as well. And she offered an Indigenous comedy workshop, which I attended. And then she has another one coming up this month. So I'm really excited to be connecting with her and then connecting with others in the state too. So there's other Native women MCs around. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I did a comedy show out in Fort Hall, Idaho about 8 or 9 years ago, and they convinced us to stay another day. And they said, "Well, since you're going to be here, you want to MC our powwow?" And I said, "No." They said, "Well, why not?" So I'm like the worst Native guy ever. I'm not, I don't sing, I don't dance. I'm just, I'm a modern Indigenous guy. An avid indoorsman. So, and they that the co-MC with me there, her name was Rosanna. Roseanne, the show band they call her. She was the MC over there, and that was the first time I'd ever seen a female MC, and it was pretty eye-opening because we didn't know each other like at all until that day. Well, I actually met her earlier that day, and then she's trying to do the back and forth banter with me, and I had no idea who she was. I didn't know what she was about, and she was trying to throw it to me. She's like, "Yeah, Johnny, why don't you share the story of how the Ojibwe, brought the jingle dress into the circle?" I was like, I didn't know that story. I didn't know that story, and I don't know what I was saying, and it was just so awkward, but it was kind of funny at the same time because she's already professional and she know what to do with our little back and forth there, and so it was incredibly awkward for me, but people were just having fun with it, and even though it was embarrassing to me because that I didn't know my own Ojibwe history and all that, so called me out right there, but yeah, it was just the thought of a female MC. That was the first time I'd ever seen it, and then I saw that to work with was it was a bad decision on our part to work with that guy. There was just so much to even get a hand on our footage. And then when we did, it was too hard. It had been 6 years at the time to try and edit it the way we wanted because there were people that were already invested in it. And so we just released what we had, and it's just not totally what we wanted, but it was pretty good. And it just a really lengthy process making, just a little documentary, two Ojib comedians out on the road, man. And I realized how much, more effort I should have put into it. So, but I love to write too. That's one of the things I grew up doing. I always reading when I was a kid, instead of out hunting and doing the trapping and all that stuff. I was home reading magazines and newspapers and the Inquirer and just stupid things and to keep me entertained. But yeah, that was one of the things that I want to try to do. So your background, what are your education, and what kind of what pushed you like towards this way?
Yeah. Man, I only, when I went to Fond du Lac Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College, and that was when they had it on Franklin Avenue. That was back in, 03 to 06. And they had it offered to urban students. And it was really cool. It was a really awesome opportunity because urban students could actually access a tribal education. So I'm really blessed to have had that experience as, living in Minneapolis. And I think when I started learning about, the history of Native people and all the lies and deception that you learned at, in elementary and stuff, it really, I think, set a fire inside of my spirit. And I think from there, I just, hit the ground running, and I wanted to, make my community better in whatever way I could. So I didn't really go to school for very much. I only have my associate's degree. But I did, I worked with Indian education in Minneapolis for 8 years. And I was actually blessed enough to have that position designed for me. So they knew who I was, and they developed this position for me, a parent community engagement specialist. And I had a mentor. I had a downwind. She just saw something in me that I didn't see at the time. I was, really young. I had just my daughter at the time, and she took me under her wing, and I started learning the language. I started learning about the teachings, and she really helped me propel into this new place where I just started exploring the things that I really enjoyed. So, and it was a little later on in life, it wasn't right after I got graduated from high school. So it took, maybe a little 8-10 year lag, but that's how life is, and it just works. It's not a straight linear line. It's, you take little turns and you learn things on the way. And I'm just really blessed to have her take that time with me, because I spent a good decade with her, and in ceremony, and she taught me a lot of things. And I learned a lot from her. And she moved to I think she's in South Dakota at right now. So I think I'm going to be able to see her next weekend. But I was really blessed, and I hung out with a lot of elders and stuff, and yeah. And then just we were actually in ceremony, and she said, you should work, Native comedy and humor is my medicine of choice. And I use humor as a way to heal my spirit. And she said, just walk that way. And ever since she gave me the green light in a ceremony setting, I just went for it. So and if that's the gift that I have, then that's what I want to explore, because I know there's so much trauma in our communities, but it gives us good material to laugh about, which is not always the best thing, but that's how we come back. That's how we rebound from stuff like that. And when I make somebody laugh, or when I'm laughing and having fun, it's just like you're connected to everybody. You're connected to the creator, you're connected to the universe, you're connected to the earth, and it's just a joyful moment. So and it's like super powerful. So I'm like, man, I'm going to just claim this as my medicine of choice. So I think that's going to be my brand. No one take it. Let me write this down.
I've crossed that off my list then. So
You better cross it off.
but yeah, I understand where you're coming from with the way we heal, because there are times where, sadly, sitting at a funeral with family and friends we haven't seen in a while, and that seems like the only time we gather nowadays is for funerals or something bad happens. But it's there are times where you could just, the whole place is just having fun, visiting, teasing each other. And there are times where I was at a funeral last fall, and it was kind of like a powwow family, joking around and all that stuff. And we had it in a I suppose a white man's church. I don't know other way to say it, but it was a white man's church. And everybody that went up had a story about the family and stuff like that, and just joking, laughing, and everything. Everybody's having, it's a funeral, but we were having kind of a good time, And then this white preacher guy comes up and just all sad and low, and just kind of brought the whole thing down. And I just realized that's how different we are from other communities. It's like when we gather, it's like a celebration of life. And then when the other groups of people, they're sad, they wish that whatever didn't happen. But it's just one way that we learn to heal, make each other laugh, tease each other. And I remember this time we were in the cities. I was about 13, 14. We're at a funeral for my cousin who died at a young age, and my uncle Joe. And we're in a white man church setting, and it got the white man got done with his prayer, or whatever, and it was so quiet. You could just like hear a pin drop, and next thing you know, he lets out a big old fart, and just the whole place was just. I mean, he blamed me, which made it funnier for everybody because he got up and left, and I was sitting on that old pew thing, whatever it's called, all by myself, and there was nothing I could do, and it was just part of part of the, I suppose, the best part of celebrating life is just everybody coming together and just enjoying each other's company. So, but yeah, I was thinking about you know all the native comedians that have been emerging. I started this in like 2009, and there were quite a few then, but social media has helped help us pick up the steam. And you hear stories about like all the mainstream comedians, they're like tortured souls and stuff like that. That's how they deal with their demons or whatever. But it seems like all the indigenous comedians that I've worked with, I mean, they're really, nice people. You don't have to have a tortured life to be able to be a comedian. I mean, we're like, I've been to like comedy clubs, and it I'm not a big guy, but I'm big. My wife says I look intimidating, but being around mentally, I don't know, some of them you could tell they're not all there, and that kind of had me worried, just because of the way some people think and the way they express it on stage. Is like, man, this guy's gonna hurt somebody later. Are we? Is this how we're doing it? Being in comedy clubs is kind of scary sometimes, even for me, because I go down to open mics all the time, and a lot of the people there aren't really all there. We'll just say it that way, but like all the native comedians, we're always out having fun and just who we are. We're not trying to make up for whatever trauma we experienced growing up. It's just us sharing stories, having fun. And I can see a lot of that with you, like you just said, that you chose this journey, and it's going to be something you chose to do, not because you have to express yourself to make up for a trauma or something like that. And it's just really scary to be at comedy clubs, man. And
I actually have only seen I've seen Trevor Noah and I've seen Chelsea Handler. Those are the two big ones I've seen. But like smaller comedy clubs, I think I've only been to one, but I watch a lot on the TV. I watch the older ones. Man, and I really enjoy what's his name? Oneida guy. Charlie Hill, yeah. Man, and he was really supportive of New Native Theater, the company I worked with for a while. And there's probably a possibility to meet him at one point. But yeah, he's such a pioneer. And I'm like, man, this was stuff he's talking about, a long time ago. So, and how brave that was. And it's not just to Native people either, not a Native audience either. So yeah, I try to watch and just see different styles. I've seen Trevor Noah twice. Just watching him, just close. I actually got to hug him. So thank you to Jamie Davis for bringing me along that night. I got to hug Trevor Noah. But yeah, it's just
jealous. Really... I'm jealous.
He looked scared when I came because I was screaming. I was like, ah! And I came running at him. He kind of flinched a little bit. I was like, man, big old Indian girl. I had the biggest smile, but it was, they're just really inspiring. And Chelsea Handler, oh my God, she was amazing. She's freaking amazing. And her husband, Joe Coy, is pretty dope too. My daughter put me on him.
I missed him when he went to, I think it was Mystic last year. I saw Bill Burr though in October. Man, I remember when I first started watching him, I couldn't stand Bill Burr, man. He's just so mouthy and like, I don't know what it was about him. He just rubbed me the wrong way. But the more I watched him, the more I could understand. Maybe it's also me getting old and understanding the way he is. And it's just the way he speaks his truth. And there's you're not going to convince him otherwise. He's just strong in his opinions, and I can see myself getting that way. like a grumpy old man now, I suppose. And but it makes me think about what thinking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock thing. It was that a couple weeks ago at the Oscars, and that just pretty much divided the country. Just right down the middle. And I was thinking of it when I saw it. I was watching it live, and I saw Will Smith come up. I was like, man, what is he going to say? And then boom, I was like, man, that's exactly what I would have did too. If if somebody embarrass your wife in front of a live studio, in front of the world, I would have did the same thing. But then after I thought about it, it wasn't that there was another way to do it, but I still would have did the same thing. I'm just protective of my wife, like a man I'm not gonna say should be, but that's just how I was brought up. Brought up from the res. Will Smith, West Philadelphia, born and raised on a anyway. But yeah, and then after I started thinking about it, yeah, that was the wrong thing to do, but I can't convince myself otherwise. I would have did the same thing, and just that makes me think about, I think it was Mike Tyson that said that, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth, and like people are too comfortable insulting people, without any repercussions. And I understand the whole comedy part about it, but also there's a line that some people cross, and they deserve to, maybe get smacked in the face in front of a live studio audience. But I'm still kind of angry about it. I don't know what that is. That just bothers me.
Yeah, I was trying to make up my mind, like, what the heck? But I think I was surprised because Will Smith always seems so calm and collected. So I was like, what? And as soon as I seen that, I sent my dad's on this call. I sent it to my dad. I was like, look at this crazy stuff. And I was surprised because, I've seen interviews and stuff with him and his family. And I'm like, man, they know how to be calm and collected, and probably have enough money to have a guru come and meditate with them and give them acupuncture and stuff. So it took me back because I was like, what? This is the Fresh Prince, and he's just a bubbly guy, and you think of him like with people like Common, or just really mild, bland guys that are could be on Sesame Street or something. So it just surprised me, but I'm still wondering about what's going on with Jada, because but there's just so many different facets of stuff to explore there. But so I still don't know. I'm still go back and forth with my opinion about it. But yeah, for sure, like everybody's like right divided, like that one incident. And I just seen some footage from a different angle. I forgot. I think I lost it, but it was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy to see it. Oh, and like they didn't edit the sound. You could hear everything that they were saying. I was like, dang. So yeah, that was something. I don't know if
the whole thing, all the comedians around Chris Rock's side, because, understandable, but still, I'm a comedian, I'm a husband. I kind of lean towards the husband. You don't insult a man's wife in front of the whole world, without, some people just deserve to be smacked in the face, And then the thing about that what bothered me the most about that, people chiming in, they're digging deep into Will and Jada's relationship, and like everybody turned into like a psychologist or something, and like they made it sound like they knew what was going on in their lives, and it just kept getting uglier and uglier. And that's another part that bothered me. So yeah, I just don't know. Yeah. So when power time, that's I'm at an age now where I can just, when I was younger, I'd run around, try to snag when I was young, like a teenager and all that stuff there, but never really sat by the drums. It's something I never really got into, even I grew up with the Battle River Singers, but I never really got into singing or anything. And now that I'm older, I realized that I missed out on so much, Now when I go to the powwow, I learn to appreciate it, watch all the dancers and the singers, and just the atmosphere is a lot of fun. And I bring up that atmosphere because that's one of the things that I love about comedy. When you're on a stage and hitting, every joke is hitting, and everybody's there having a good time, and you can just feel that energy, in the room at the time. Is that something that you feel like when you hit like a solid joke or whatever in front of the whole crowd, and I know there's like pauses, between dances and singing, and then it's just you and that audience, and then is there that moment where it just hits you like, yes, this is it right here?
Mhm. For sure. I think as I learn, I'm trying to learn how to perfect the craft, because it's a little daunting. Like you said, I had this very similar experience with powwows. When I was a kid, I mean, my dad can attest to this. I was out there on the ring. So, but as I'm getting older, like you said, the environment, plus with the pandemic, it's like you come to appreciate gathering even more. And powwows have always been a nostalgic place for us, with all the smells and the sounds and the colors and the laughter. And it's just like you miss that, because there was that year where we didn't come together like that. So but yeah, like I'm trying to learn how to best have pauses and things like that. But yeah, that energy when you're in the zone and you feel the crowd, I know exactly what you're saying, because it's like you're channeling, it's just like you're clear, right? And then the people can feel that too, so they feel it too. It's almost like you're channeling, the spirit helpers, or whoever, the all the positive energy that you're getting. You're just projecting it out. And there is moments, and I've felt that on stage too. There was one night where we just killed it on that, blood quantum physics, and it was a rush. It was like a high. So it was like, man, this is really cool. It's fun, and everybody was laughing, and didn't mess up any lines. So yeah, I totally know what that feels like. But even when you're just hanging out with your friends, because man, Native women, I feel like my experience, the funniest people I've ever met in my life. And even last night I was hanging out, and just when everybody's listening and you just get whatever you say, just improvising, and everybody's cracking up, man, that's the best feeling in the world. So I totally agree with you. And man, I think Native people are the most intelligent and the most funny people on the planet. And you guys can write that down. Hey.
Put it on the screen here somewhere, so we can, right here.
Hashtag.
Link. There you go. Hashtag. But the thing about me doing comedy, I originally started video production in 2006, and it got to a point. Me and my friends were like in a little had our own little not a comedy troupe, but just the guys I grew up with. They'd come over, we'd shoot videos, and we did that in like middle school and high school too, and it was just something to pass the time, to have fun with. And then I decided to take that to the next level, and bring them not along, but just hang out and record what we're doing, and we had a pretty good time with that. And then it just turned to us getting older, had to take care of our responsibilities at home. We had jobs and kids and all that, so we all kind of just drifted apart, and then it was hard to get everybody in the same room like we used to do. So that's one thing that led me to comedy, because I had all this equipment and I didn't really have anything to film. So I started comedy. Just I was 33 years old at the time when I finally decided to jump into comedy, and it was a little showcase at a local college, and I decided to try it. Worst jokes ever, but I had a couple that were funny enough to get the spark in me. People were laughing, and like, man, there it is. Let's do this. So then I started doing my own thing, but from there it just kept building. Doing more videos, and then I finally started doing podcasting, which is my new thing now. And there's just so many ways to show express our creativity, and that's not what I had a lot of growing up. There wasn't really a lot of people doing stuff. Well, that was the 90s. There wasn't really like social media to share our stuff with, and I was too poor to to afford equipment too. So that kind of held me back. But also like the support of the community wasn't there for me, and it's just that's really important right now because a lot of these kids, we have a lot of superstar basketball players here, a lot of a couple of our kids going to Ivy League schools, and it's just one thing that really amazes me how much farther these kids are going than I could at that age. I mean, like it took me like 30 years to get to this point, and they're doing it right out of high school, man. It's like, man, what? Wow, at least we're moving somewhere, man. We're getting somewhere. So is that like one of the things that when you were younger, like what were your dreams and plans? What did you want to be?
I didn't, I was funny. I have, my parents are two of the funniest people in their family, and then they made me I inherited that both from both of them. They're both hilarious. And we did make videos too, because we grew up in the 90s. I remember making a video with a Warren G song. We did a little dance, and I don't even know where we got that camera, but one summer we'd make little videos and lip sync, and I always liked to perform like that. But I didn't think of it as like a profession or anything. 'Cause when in the 90s, when you see the people on TV, it's they don't look like you, so you don't think like that. You just have fun, and it's for your family or whoever. But nowadays we're actually seeing Native people. You can turn on Hulu and see Native people, and it's really amazing. And then I think when I auditioned for New Native Theater, I seen it in the Circle, and it was just at Powell Grounds at one little audition. I did it because I was doing a lot of public speaking, and I didn't want to be nervous anymore, public speaking. So like, I can try it. I didn't even think I was going to get a part. But after I did that, I was like, and not everybody can do this. I thought it was, and I didn't think of it as anything special, because you don't, Native people, you don't think you're that great. I don't know, you have all, you're like, whatever, I'm just a humble way. But I found it to be a natural thing. So, as a teenager, I would never have guessed that I would be doing a comedy show talking about comedy right now at all. And I'm 43, so I'm getting started 10 years after you. So, but it's, it doesn't even matter, because as long as that spirit is there, as long as, you have things to say, as long as you have, energy to give and receive, then that's all that matters. And it doesn't matter. It's not a race. So, and I think now that I'm this age, I have lots of material I can turn to. All my experiences, all my baby daddies, lots of material. Not
Well, yeah, you bring up a good point, that it's not a race, there's a lot of us out there doing the same thing, and we're all doing it to just to express ourselves, and also we realize that there's a lot of younger ones watching us. They don't, growing up, kids around here, they don't realize that how far they can go if not everybody can play basketball and get a D1 scholarship, but there are a lot of creative youngsters around here, and they're being a lot encouraged more than I was growing up, because it was pretty tough in the 90s and really late growing up, man. We didn't have a lot of support for to pursue like the artist part of this, the artistry industry, and performance and stuff like that. I was one of the ones straight out of high school. I started working at a casino, did that for 5 years. And when I should have been in college or, doing something, I was inhaling cigarette smoke every single day for 5 years. And I don't even smoke. So that might catch up to me pretty soon, but it hasn't so far. So, but yeah, it's just a lot of opportunities for the kids now, and I see a lot of them getting into like gaming. My son, he does the whole streaming thing that I have no idea what they're doing. Even my younger ones are starting to. Can you start me a YouTube channel? I was like, "Man, you don't even know what YouTube is, and they're already scrolling through all that. It's like I don't even know everything about YouTube yet, and I've been on there for what 15, 16 years, and it's just these kids are getting too smart for me. I don't know what they're doing. And like my youngest, she's just turned, or she's gonna be 6 in May, and she's already scrolling through her tablet and pressing buttons, and can you buy me this? Can you download? Because I have passwords on all their stuff, so I learned that the hard way to always have passwords on your accounts. Because remember my son, he was 3. He ordered the full season 9 of The Walking Dead on Voodoo. I was like 80 some bucks, and he was 3. I don't know how he did that, man. It's just these kids are too much, man. I can't keep up anymore. I'm just gonna have to
just give it up.
Yeah, just don't get hurt. Just behave yourself. Say a bad word, just don't say them in front of anybody else, man. It's like you. I had to barricade myself in my. This is just a spare bedroom because my daughter moved out, so I put my stuff in here, and before my wife could. So this is my room now. So I have a big dresser covering the door, and he was still pushing. I was like, what the. He's a little skinny 6-year-old boy, and he's still pushing a big old dresser out of the way just to see what I'm doing. But his mom grabbed him. So.
Oh, I know. I have that table in front of my door. Cray. I thought so. I have, my 3 kids, 22, 14, and 2. So, and they're all out there. It sounds like that movie, that Gremlins, when they're watching that Snow White movie, and they're all watching, popcorn's flying and stuff.
Yeah, well, you got a little bit easier than me. I have 12 total. I have 9 at home with me right now. I got a 15-year-old, 8-year-old, 2 7-year-olds, 4 6-year-olds, and 1 5-year-old. And they're snuggling with their mom right now. Man, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do stuff like this because she brings them all in, keeps them occupied, and watches a movie, snuggles with them or whatever, and they're all up in the room right now. So if it wasn't for her, I really had to fight this one. I felt like he was a zombie, and I was trying to keep them out. That's what it feels like sometimes. They're always trying to come in here and play with my cameras, my laptops, and they like to bust up my stuff for whatever reason. And kids, man, but yeah, it's never boring at my house. So
are you in?
I'm in Red Lake right now. I'm about half a mile east of the tribal council, but we're deep in the woods. So once the snow leaves us, I just unleash them. They run around, wear themselves out. As long as they don't get hurt, we're fine. So, but yeah, the snow, man, it's just been, I live like a way down a dirt road, and all winter it was rugged all winter, and then it started drying up. The last week or so, I was like, yeah, all right, we're all done with the thaw. Came right back. Now my road is even worse again. So, I got a Suburban and a Silverado, but my wife has a Malibu, and I busted that up the other day because I was trying to go through a puddle, and I hit a big chunk of ice and just took a big chunk out of her bumper. So I'm still in trouble for that one. So this gig isn't going to pay for that bumper. So.
Malibu.
Yeah, Malibu. But so you have I know there's powwows coming up. Are you a part of any of those? Because I know they have a one for MIEA next week at Mystic, I think.
No one told me about that.
A one-dayer, I believe. I think it's Wednesday night.
Is it? Okay. No, well, there's a school one coming up, and then unofficially there's one also that's a very remarkable one that I've been asked to. I'm not going to announce it yet because I haven't accepted it, but I was like, wow, that's cool, because those are like the Leech Lake one. It's like, man, I've heard about these powers. Yeah. And like you, man, I didn't I didn't dance or any of that stuff. So when I was at Leech Lake, I really literally in real time learned about the protocols and the songs and when what happens. Like I didn't know, like there's a flag song, there's a veteran song, there's the royalty comes in and this and that. And I was like, I had no idea. I didn't know anybody's, the veterans' names. I'm like whispering, like, who's that? And then I, announce it. So I was just learning right then and there. So, but it's a good thing. I think that's a theme in my life. I'm just kind of thrown in the deep end, and it's like, just learn it. I didn't have any training or.
I can do is swim.
Yep. No life jacket, no swimsuit. I have my watch and my keys and my phone in my pocket, and just piranhas in there.
That reminds me of a story. I remember my Uncle Joe, he passed away about 20 years ago, and one of my cousins went up to speak. This is part of who we are as as Indigenous people. But he had a story about my Uncle Joe. He said, "Yeah, Uncle Joe, he taught me to swim, and we were at a dock, deep water, and Uncle Joe said he'd teach me how to swim. So I went out there, sitting on a dock, and then Uncle Joe said, "Well, just jump in there, then I'll show you how to do it." And my cousin jumps in, boom, sinks straight to the bottom, man. And he's able to, climb up the pole of the dock. And he comes up and he asked Uncle Joe, "Uncle Joe, how come you didn't tell me what to do?" And he said, "Well, I don't know how to swim either." Just let him sink, and it's just part of what it was, man. It just that's pretty much how I learned how to swim too. Just watching people not drown and fighting for my life, man. It was like a survival skill up here because we used to have a pool in the humanities, and they'd make us swim I think like once a week, and it was just pretty much, you're gonna learn how to swim or else you're gonna drown. There's no in between. Jump off, make us jump off the diving board, and you're gonna have to hopefully learn how to swim. Hopefully, you know how to swim by the time it's diving board time. But those were the 80s, so we're kind of. It was rugged up here, man.
Pretty rugged. Got thick skin up there.
Yeah, man, we're tough, but we had no choice but to be tough around here. But yeah, you're talking about emceeing. I'm afraid somebody's gonna ask me to MC a powwow because of the whole comedy background, but I know nothing about powwows. I just watch people sing and dance, and that's the extent of it. But I can get up there and BS, but I'm gonna offend a lot of people because that's just how I talk. That's one of the things about what I've been doing. As a comedian, there are times where I've been banned because of stuff I said and things I've done too. I've been kicked out of 8 hotels in 3 states because of activities. We'll say. Well, that's when I was younger. I was dumber. So, because the first comedy show, professional show I did was at Seven Clans Casino, and I got banned from that casino for 6 months. The day after the show, because I thought we were celebrating my accomplishment, and apparently nobody else wanted to, so I did. But
Dang.
I was young and dumb, but now I'm old and dumb, so.
Now I'm just old and dumb.
Yeah, now I'm just old and dumb. I don't know any better. But yeah, man, I really enjoy doing this for the radio station. I still can't believe I get paid to do this sometimes. I was telling my mom, see all that goofing off, paid off. And she said, "Well, it's about time, because in school I was just talking, and I wasn't a class clown or anything. I just, made like stupid observations that would get laughs sometimes, and didn't take school seriously and stuff like that. And I'm kind of regretting that because that's how my kids are now. So that's coming back on me. So plus I got 8 more to go. Well, actually 9 more to go through school. My son is 15 and he's in the 9th grade, and all my other ones are just I'm kind of worried about them because once they get old and get smarter, man, they can turn on me. I know how they're getting bigger, faster, and stronger, and kind of worries me. So I got to get back in shape. But
start doing some some here. I'm trying to clean it. I don't know if that was greasy or what. Sorry. Hey, I look a little foggy. I thought
I'm gonna get them into like MMA classes. So when it all shuts down, when the world go crazy, I'll have my little army, army of kid soldiers to protect me if it really comes down to that. So that's the plan anyway. So
that's the master plan.
That's the master. Yeah, that's what my plan all along. So
I would do that if I had a dozen kids too.
yeah, we gotta make use of them.
Put them to use, right?
So you're in Minneapolis right now. How long you've been a lifelong Minneapolis?
Yep.
Lifelong,
my dad, actually, let's see. My mom was born up on the res, so I was the first generation on my mom's side to be born in Minneapolis, and born and raised right in South Minneapolis. I'm not right in Minneapolis right now, but yep, city girl through and through. Hey.
Yeah, I was born there, and I lived there till I was about 3 years old in the projects, and I used to run the proj back in the day, but people don't remember that. It was the 70s, 76 to 79. I was running the show. I was like a young Tony Soprano when I was in the projects. Back in those days, kids just run around all day and
just run stuff, huh?
Yeah, just I was thinking about. It seemed like you'd eat breakfast at home. Your mom would send you on your way. You played somewhere, and your friend's mom will make you lunch. And you play some more. Dinner time. Your next friend's mom cooks you dinner, and then you go home. Those are the good old days, I think. But, yeah, that was a lot of what I remember. Anyway, I was just a kid, so
I did a lot of like prank calls. It was before caller ID. I was just talking to my friends who I grew up with. I'm still friends with them. Ches and Dee were talking. I said, man, we used to do prank call. We'd get the white pages and look at people's names and call people at 2 a.m. and break up marriages. And I was like, what the hell? 13 years old, being off baby. Gosh, that was way before caller ID. And then when we got the caller ID, holy smokes, we plugged that thing in. It was like, I forgot what company it was, but we like, call me, what happens? And we, call and, oh my God, it's your name. It's grandma's name. Holy smokes. That was a revolutionary thing. Caller ID was like the coolest thing ever. We had to retire after that. Yep, we had to retire from our prank calls after that.
Changer there. Ruined a lot of fun back in those days. I think that movie Scream came out. I think right before caller IDs hit big, and then Scream 2 came out. There's like, we know who's there, so we know where this call is coming from. You think the whole franchise would have stopped right there, but they still found a way to find some money in that franchise. So.
For sure.
But I don't know what I'm gonna be down in the cities. I think we'll be at that campaign, or what is it called? For the Red Lake election, the candidate forum.
Yep.
23rd. I'm gonna be down there because running for chairman. That something that I've always talked about. Just goofing off. That I was talking about, when I'm chairman, I'm gonna do that, and people finally said, here now, shut up, go run for chairman, see what you can do. It's like, really? Yeah, all right, I'm just having fun with it, man. I know there's a lot of big issues and that we have to deal with, and I feel like all my years growing up here, working all the programs, I've seen a lot of things, but just the main thing is just bringing the whole technology, because we live way up north. Not a lot of people are making use of it. So, but yeah, I'm going to be down there. They're going to give me a mic and they can't take it away. So that's going to be the fun part.
I didn't know you were running for chairman. I just thought you were running for rep. It's chairman?
Chair, I'm going for the big job. Yeah, there's.
So cool.
It's going to be an interesting time. So.
The 23rd, so all the candidates are going to be there?
Yep, all candidates will be there on April 23rd. I don't have that. Some kind of women's building or something.
Women's for all of our buildings.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, whatever
WRC.
building you guys give us, we'll take that. But
Yep, I'm
so
a
is
red.
anything? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was to say I'm a red liquor, so yeah, that's a good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll be down there. Be giving away. I'll be selling some hugs and handshakes to support my campaign. All that
It's called
stuff.
hugs once. I
You
only
what?
make $6. I said hugs once.
Or a kissing booth. There we go. I might try
Yeah,
a
well,
kissing booth. And
we can do blow kisses because it's
yeah. Oh yeah, for the we'll have our masks on. I'll sell kisses wearing a mask. So
half price.
half price. Yeah, that'll be my new money maker after the election.
It's your plan B.
Yeah, that bring some money in for the tribe. Kissing booths.
I'll do the hugging booth, but I only
There you
made
go.
books that one time. I was trying to sell them as like wellness, like you're releasing cortisol, and I only had 2 people. One person gave me $1 and they didn't hug me, and then one
Give me
got
$1 to not hug.
$5. So it was, yeah.
Here's $1. Don't hug me. Get away from me.
I felt just bad for me. Here's $1.
But yeah, that's a whole thing. That's an actual thing where that embrace. You embrace somebody, and you can like the energy. It just comes together, and that's an actual thing. I've actually felt that, and so
6 seconds.
yeah. Even though my kids, they dogpile me, I can feel their energy, even though their ill intentions of dogpiling me like that, pig pile, whatever the kids call it now. But yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be down there 23rd. I might be down there next week too, but depends on my wife's wrecked car that I have to pay for. So, but yeah, it's just so you got any websites or Facebooks or anything you want to plug? Let the people know where to find you.
Yeah, man. Let's see. I got pretty much everything except for Twitter. So I got Facebook, Deanna Ray Standing Cloud. Add me. I'm on that probably primarily. Instagram, 8th_fire, and then I'm on Snapchat. I actually want to pick up on TikToks because those are fun. So I'm actually on TikTok. I forgot what my handle was on that one, but I'm on TikTok. And what else? Clubhouse. I don't even know how that works, but I guess
I'm on there too, but I don't know what that is.
I don't either. I guess it's the new thing.
Yeah, I got on Parlor just to have my at the Johnny R handle because I don't want anybody using that and getting me in trouble with the liberals, because that Parlor is like a conservative social media site with Trump Jr. and all that, and I just did that to see what they're saying, like in The Godfather, say you keep your friends close, you keep your enemies closer, so you know what they're doing. So, but yeah, so if you see me on Parlor, that's why I'm not a right-wing conservative. But yeah.
Wait, what is that one called? OnlyFans?
OnlyFans. Okay, I'll look you up on there.
You have one there? Yeah.
I should do that. I should do that for like dirty jokes, just filthy